Hey there, and welcome back to Ange's channel.
Well, it's our channel.
Okay, it's our channel.
Because we're married, so what is mine is yours, and what is yours is mine.
Yes, and on marriage. That's what this video is about.
It is. It's about marriage or relationships.
And our 5 tips for success.
Our 5 top tips for a successful relationship or marriage.
Now, we not only are married and live together, obviously, but we work together as well. So there's
a lot of time that we spend together.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time in each other's pockets, and we get a lot of messages saying, how do you do it? How do you live together? How do you work together? And so we thought we might do a video on our top 5 tips on how to have a great relationship or a great marriage.
I think tip number 1, and probably one of the most important tips, would be clever communication. And by that we mean just picking your moments and being aware of where the other person's head is at. It's not going to be the same place as yours the whole time. So you really have to pick your moments. I'm terrible before a coffee in the morning.
Terrible before a coffee. He's also terrible when he's hungry or when he's tired. So I'll just be very aware of my timing that I need to pick of when I'll have a decent conversation or a big conversation. We'll leave big matters to a time when it's appropriate, when I know he can spend the time and energy on that particular topic and he can process it appropriately. Because there's nothing worse, like if you were going out to a gig or a show and I just gave you this big piece of information or I dropped a bombshell on you that you couldn't really process. It's not really fair. And I think maybe I used to do that like years ago, maybe the first year of our marriage. And I think we just kind of put these rules and boundaries in place where we were like, okay, you can't do that. You can't tell me a big piece of information right before I'm about to go on stage. I need to be able to focus. So it's about being considerate, I guess, when you actually communicate big things or talk about big topics, when you know it's going to kind of emotionally charge the other person. Don't you think? I think it's been a big one, kind of creating the rules and the boundaries around when we talk to each other about particular things.
Absolutely. And specifically when we're working together, it's a real juggle sometimes of personal conversations and professional conversations. So we really have to pick our moments there as well, because quite often we're about to go into meetings together and we've got other stuff on our plate. It's just about being really clever with your communication,
Yeah, and being really aware of what the other person is going through at that particular moment in time and being considerate about how they're going to react to the type of thing that you want to talk to them about. Yeah, I reckon that's a pretty big one. Top tip number 2 perhaps is listening. And gosh, it makes me sound like the terrible person in the relationship, because I feel like I've maybe struggled with this a little bit too over the years, because I am very focused in work mode a lot of the time, and you help me kind of get out of that zone and become more of a social human being. But I feel like when you talk to me sometimes I'm not 100% present because I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at texts, I'm looking at emails, someone calls me, I'm like, oh, Phil, that sounds great, just one moment. So really taking the time, at least 10 to 15 minutes a day, we actually write, okay, I'm here, I'm listening, let's talk. But being 100% present.
But then again, because we work together and we're on kind of 24/7, when something comes up, you kind of have to address it straight away, especially a work-related issue. So again, it becomes a little bit like a juggling act,
Yeah, it really does.
Listening is really, really important. But then just how much are you going to have to take on of that particular thing? So again, it goes back to rule number 1 about being clever about how you respond as well after you have been listening to things,
And I think listening, but also observing what the other person needs. I know that you feel very loved and need affection. I feel like affection is quite important to you. But for me, I'm not big on the whole kind of,
what do you call
public,
them?
The PDA.
PDAs.
Public display of affection.
Whereas I am pretty big on that, especially in shopping malls. I'm walking around like this, oh wow, isn't this great? She's like, get off me.
Whereas I need constant reassurance. I need you to kind of tell me that I'm awesome, that I've got this. I need you to kind of give me, pep talks throughout the day to help me kind of stay on track on what I'm trying to doing, whereas you need a hug sometimes,
So when I'm asking for those things, you need to listen.
All right, next tip. What would you say the next thing is?
Having your own passions and hobbies and things that you do to give you time and the other person respecting that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really good at that actually. Like you've got your own set of friends that you do stuff with. I mean, you go out on the road a lot. I mean, that is your career and profession though, traveling and doing gigs and getting on the road, but I totally respect that. And then I have my own friends that I go out with every week and have dinner and, I go for massages with some of my girlfriends just to kind of like de-stress and kind of, hang out with them. And the thing is, I don't think you can get everything from one person. And I think maybe that's where a lot of people kind of fall into the trap thinking that you can get everything from one partner. You can get a lot from one partner, but
what are you talking about? You got like several partners.
No, but like friends and other relationships that you have. Think of it back to like the village days.
The village people.
Well, like you'd have like
the village people, like YMCA.
Why? Do you need a coffee? Are you tired?
No, I'm good.
Are you all right? Are you hungry?
Having your own time with your own friends is a really important thing.
I think so. You can't get everything from the one person, and it's good to kind of have other sources to kind of, hang out with and discuss different topics too.
Absolutely. I think it's really important to see each other as equals, and that's an interesting one because we each have our different strengths.
Yes.
But as far as the relationship goes, it's like a team. We're a team.
Absolutely. I feel like neither of us have the upper hand in the relationship.
No.
Like
that thing of, geez, I can see who wears the pants around here. That role can go from one to the other.
Yeah, we share it. Sometimes I'll wear the pants, sometimes Phil will wear the pants.
It's rare that I actually throw down, but when I do throw down...
It's pretty significant.
Yeah. And sometimes you actually go, yeah.
Well, sometimes I think I'm the type of personality that certainly needs to be told when I'm being a little bit ridiculous. And you have no fear in pulling me up on things that I haven't done correctly, or I'm being a bit of a drama queen, or, you've got no problem with saying, pull your head in, stop being a dickhead.
That said though, you do need to pick your battles.
Yes.
Because I've experienced a lot of married couples that bicker the whole time. And they're at each other the whole time over just the smallest things, and it turns into arguments and blah, blah. I'm like, that's like, just don't sweat the small stuff.
That would take a lot of energy and it's draining. And like sometimes I look at other couples and the way they speak to each other is just not kind.
Language is really important, Avoid saying things like, don't do that, that's stupid. What, you're being an idiot. What are you doing? You're an idiot. I mean, just don't speak to each other like that.
Yeah. I mean, we're not perfect. We certainly have our moments and we have disagreements, but we would never put each other down like that. I'll never say you're an idiot, or we try to remain kind in those times.
Even that click of the tongue thing that can do,
Oh, and the roll of the eyes. Oh. If you did that to me, I wouldn't cope very well with that. Do we have friends that do that?
Yeah.
Do we?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, yeah, that would drive me nuts. Yeah, so we don't do that. We try to avoid any type of that sort of communication and tone with each other.
And that takes a bit of discipline. It takes emotional discipline because sometimes sometimes you really do want to go, oh.
Do you? Like when? Like now?
Like right now. To shooting this video, I just want to go,
no.
But no. You have to be clever about it.
You do have to be very clever. What's the next thing, do you reckon?
I think that if you're a team and you're working together, you need to plan.
When we go to Hawaii at the end of each year, or just wherever we are in the world, I guess, at the end of every year, we'll sit down and we'll plan together, and we make a very active decision to go, okay, what's our 3-month goal, what's our 6-month goal, and what's our long-term goal.
We very rarely stick to them exactly like that.
No, but we do give each other roles to kind of play in order to kind of go, okay, if we want to get here, we have to do X, Y, and Z. You do X, I'll do Y, and we're working towards a common goal.
Yeah.
I think that the moment we started doing that, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, it made me, because I'm such a planner, it made me feel very calm and going, oh, I know where we're going, I know why we're working this hard. So when you're out on the road for weeks on a tour, I know what our big picture is, so I can see how it's sort of all coming together.
Which was very different to me, because I was always someone that just went from day to day and was living in the moment and kind of like wherever the wind blows, you know. Which within a relationship, if you've got bills to pay and, you know, responsibilities, it sort of doesn't work that way. But you can still have great adventures and there can still be a lot of spontaneity, but it just becomes a little bit more a planned thing.
Yeah, and you know, on the topic of planning, I think it's really important to kind of plan to have us time, because we do live and work together, and it's important for us to plan a proper date where we don't talk about work, because work is draining, it takes so much out of you, and we can constantly bring work matters up when we're out on a date, and it goes back to self-discipline, that we go, no, you know what, right now you need the best version of myself. I've given my best version of myself to my clients all day long. Right now you deserve the best bit of me. And so it's being disciplined within that to be able to give you what you need, you know, or what we both need really, and what we both deserve, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really kind of, I don't know, boring and slightly OCD. Yes, we have to book in us time, but when with us, we work together. So you kind of have to make that.
But our schedules are all over the place as well. So yeah, we kind of have to, or it just wouldn't happen, you know.
And I think we're definitely sort of getting to the answers to those questions where people say, how do you guys, you know, how do you guys deal in a relationship, a married relationship, and work together in the same company? These are specific sort of guidelines that we've had to stick to, really.
Yeah, I think the rules and the boundaries has been the number one thing for me.
Yeah.
I think that really helped me. When you were like, don't bring those things up at this time. I have no headspace for that right now. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Good point.
Yeah, I remember sometimes saying, it's Sunday. Let's just, you know, I've got a thing called strategic denial.
Strategic denial, Phil's favourite thing in the world.
Well, it's really helped me to focus on a particular task or goal.
Yeah.
That's right in front of me, instead of bringing every other bit of distracting, you know, responsibility in with me. I just focus on that one thing. I have to strategically deny all this other stuff that definitely still is there.
Yeah.
But like a Sunday for me, strategically deny everything else. Just have quiet Sunday time.
Focus on being calm and in the moment and together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're our top tips.
I think they're our top tips.
I think we gave more than 5 top tips, but you know, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So there you go. There are top tips of how we make it work, living together, working together, pretty much being together a lot of the time without going completely crazy. I hope these tips have helped you. If they have, comment below, and also comment below on what your tips are for a successful relationship. Even it might be a relationship with your friends or your family. Just leave your tips below. We'd love to share and get the conversation started. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.